Welcome to the Divine Feminines podcast and channel. I'm your host, Steph Desar, and in today's episode, we're talking about dark feminine energy. How to connect with your dark feminine energy. Now, before I get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. This channel is the Divine Feminines on YouTube. We're on all major podcast platforms. That's Apple, Google, Spotify, you name it. And we're on Instagram and TikTok. That's Divine Feminines with a Z at the end. So why like and subscribe? Well, we've got great content on Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, soul growth, self-mastery, twin flame dynamics, high vibrational soul connections, moon magic and moon manifestation, plus more. And I want to also announce that I've got a special, limited, exclusive event happening in central London on the 28th of July for the new moon in Leo and the ahead of the Lionsgate 8/8 portal. This is going to be an exclusive event held in a special tent with a plant-based high vibrational dinner reception, also then followed by creating space and expansion, surrendering, cutting cords, an energetic cleanse, Reiki healing, then followed by an actual new moon in Leo guidance, a live energy, and then a guided magic manifestation ceremony where we'll be setting intentions and then going through an Akashic record manifestation meditation where you really call upon your Akashic records to help you set in those intentions for the new lunar cycle. I mean, this is going to be a great opportunity for you guys to come, for me to meet with you. So I hope that you'll be interested, and I'll be back in the UK in time for that event. So let's get started. So the dark feminine energy. I did an episode about dark feminine energy before, but I didn't really get into the how to connect with it, and that's what I want to do today in this episode, is like, how can we really harvest that dark feminine energy? And right now I feel like this is the right time to talk about it, because I'm really harvesting my dark feminine energy. I'm really just going into my fierce feminine, the wild feminine in me. And remember, to all the guys out here, look, this dark feminine energy is present in all masculine and feminine, male, female. We all hold the energies of masculine and feminine. So this is something to be like aware of, right? And to be mindful of. Dark feminine energy is a potent, fierce, animating force. She's always been on the planet. And I think the word dark holds with it bad, negative connotations. Like even just the word black and black magic and just dark and light, like anything that's labeled with dark almost seems like it's not good, it's dangerous, it's mysterious, but in a negative sense. But the dark feminine is really intrinsically a part of the divine feminine, and you know what I'm all about. It's all about how we rise, how we bring balance in our divine feminine. And in order to do that, we need to be aware of the dark feminine within us, the dark feminine that holds its power within the rising divine feminine. And the dark feminine is a real sacred essence. And sometimes, when I talk about sacred, it's almost what is not seen or heard, that is really powerfully present. And sometimes everyone wants to pretend like it's not there because they're scared of it, right? And that's probably why, we're calling it dark feminine. I don't know who labelled it dark feminine, but maybe they did that because, actually there's a fear when you speak of the word dark, and there's actually probably quite a lot of fear around the elements that, create dark feminine energy, the embodiment of dark feminine energy. But actually the embodiment of that dark feminine energy intrinsically within your feminine will allow you to be in your power, in your truth. It's really everything that is in spirit. Dark feminine energy is that spiritual essence. It's the tree, it's the earth, it's the darkness, it's the fierceness in the waves. When you have to humble yourself when you're by the sea and it's a force, that I feel is also the watery energy, very feminine energy, the dark feminine, the dark moon. The dark feminine, like I said, is also spirit. She's a stream of spiritual energy. She's benevolent, she's dormant in a way, but not dormant that she's not powerful and she's not active. She comes across dormant because you can't see or touch or feel her, but she is that undercurrent, the powerful undercurrent. And it's hard to define, but it's mystical in nature. It's almost like, if you used to wake up and in the middle of the night and you feel something's calling you, it's almost like I feel like the dark feminine is very much present in those moments. Don't ever be scared, you know, like it's normally about fear that makes us scared in those moments where we kind of like wake up in the middle of the night. We have, you know, it's actually our higher selves, our guides, our angelic realm that are asking to send us messages or to call to our attention at a time where maybe our frequency of our brainwaves, right, like we're in that sort of theta alpha state where we can pick up and get those downloads, right? So what is dark feminine energy? Like, before we get into how we connect, dark moon. So I'm going to talk about the dark moon a bit more. The deep black soil, the decay and death, transformation. You know, I'm a Scorpio sun, but I'm a Libra moon and a Cancer rising. But I feel like dark feminine is very much about going within and the transformation and going into the shadow. So being able to do shadow work, going within your deepest, darkest areas of yourself that you don't necessarily want to show everyone, is very much a dark feminine. But actually, by showing or by being authentic and allowing your dark feminine to arise naturally, you're naturally showing that to the world. And actually, I think that has quite a powerful impact on those around us. We're all interconnected, we're all one, and there is no judgment unless you want to allow there to be judgment, you know. And I think this is what we're here for, you know. We're here to understand that we are just souls living a human experience. We're here to really experience oneness and to really be in our true essence, our truth. You know, all of the glitz, the glamour, the drinking, the drugs, the partying, and all of that stuff, the nice cars, everything else, that's nothing. That's all external reality. The truth is within, right? And it's, you can run from it, but you can't hide from it, because there's shifts, there's astrological movements, there's moon cycles that come and start pulling you. And when you feel uncomfortable, it's because maybe you're not playing ball with the essence of the universe. You're not playing ball with your soul, because it's really your soul that wants you to experience these things, but your human self, your ego, is pulling you away. So connecting to your dark feminine is a really powerful way of going, I am hearing the call of my soul in the most deepest areas. I'm not afraid to connect with my soul. I'm not afraid to be in the wild. I'm not afraid to just be me, to be true to me, even if there's parts of me that's not so great, you know. It's the unknowing. You know, dark feminine energy is like, I don't know what's going to happen next. Like, I'm making decisions in my life because I know my soul needs me to make those decisions. Like, you know, I have to leave a job, or I have to come out of a relationship, or this circle of friends does not resonate with me no more. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm setting boundaries. I'm going to do me. I don't know what's going to come next. It's the unknowing. It's the void. You know, sometimes when we're going through transformational cycles and there's a lull period. I mean, as you guys know, I'm mainly based in London, and before I left London, before doing this video actually, I noticed a real void. I noticed a real sublime feeling there. But I found out that my soul sister that lives in Florida, shout out Joanna, was noticing it too. And then I connected with my soul brother, Divine Masculine, Connor, shout out Connor, who also was picking it up. And I know that they were on my resonance level, and they were witnessing a very subdued moment. And I really feel that it's the new earth really emerging and really calling on those that are jumping those higher timelines. So my soul family are experiencing it, and I was just like, whoa. And it can look quite scary, like no one out on the streets. It just seems like no one exists. Well, people do exist, but most of it is a simulation. Most of it is just holding space. Actually, when you pull it all out, how many souls are really here to actually experience this human experience, and how much was it just matrix, right? Anyway, so why does the dark feminine matter? Because it's intrinsic part of us. It's an intrinsic part of humanity, moving through her distinctive flavors, her mysterious and formidable qualities. She is needed. It is needed for the transition from our old world into the new earth. That's why she's needed. And it's going to be the calling of every single soul, and for all those that are listening to this video, You are here for a reason. You were called to connect with my video and with whatever I'm sharing. So I'm grateful and I'm happy to have you here, because you are being called to connect with your divine feminine, to connect with your higher self, but to also understand those aspects of that rise of that dark feminine. You know, in order for the new earth to really form its qualities, the dark feminine needs to be awoken in all of us, to be connected in all of us, because then, you know, then it connects the dots. It's almost just like a big map of the world where we, you know, light up all the cities almost, right? Like, it's powerful, but it is calling us to all go within, to do the deep work, to connect with our higher selves, understand what's our purpose here on earth. What is it that our soul is calling for? What is it that we've been holding back about ourselves? Usually the dark feminine will call in the areas that need deep healing, deep reflection. And it's in those areas of deep healing and deep reflection that then we understand what it is that we are here for. You know, like, why did we come to earth? What is it that we can liberate from? What is it through our liberation can help the liberation of humanity? Because everyone's, you know, our mission literally is that each soul is coming to find their own truth. And in that, because every soul will unveil their own truth, and within that, every single soul will understand, okay, how am I going to unveil to my truth? And in doing that, they rise to a resonance level or frequency of their truth, and then we all connect with our, you know, our layers of truth and our authenticity. And that's how we're forming this new earth. It's not like physically there's another earth and there's another planet. Like, it's happening in this dimension. There's multi-dimensions, but it's happening within this earth, and then there's multiple dimensions. So those that want to be there with us and do the work with us, I'm here, I'm calling you, I'm saying, hey, my dark feminine within me is like saying, come on, you know, you're on this video, you're here for a reason. Stand up, you know, like, just let go of all of that hype, you know. Like, are you still interested in all the hype and what looks good and what's in fashion and all of that? Like, if you're still caught up in that kind of 3D media driven society constraint world, then you still have not, like, called in your truth, you know. And some people are 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you know. Like, as I'm not here to judge, you know, I believe that those that don't want to take the full calling will go through quite a lot of karma, and it is what it is, you know. It's karma means lessons, and that they'll have another chance, you know. They might have to come for other lifetimes. I know that some of my soul tribe are like, boy, I'm only coming for, like, I'm done after this lifetime. I ain't trying to come back. I don't know. I don't really, it's not that I don't like Earth, but I'm cool. I'm enjoying it right now. It's had its moments, but if I have to come back, I have to come back. Whatever the soul's written for me, I comply. Because ultimately, when you realize that the soul has the most power in your essence and in your presence, you just have to ride. You just gotta ride the wave, guys. So, you know, in the capitalism moments of this world, the colonial, patriarchal, capitalist structures of a modern world, and a lot of our families have come through, you know, for any of you guys that come from countries that have colonization, like myself, like, I've come from a colonial background of Portuguese colonial takeover of Goa, and then experienced, you know, English takeover of Africa. My family's experienced a lot of colonialism through India, Africa, Portugal colonialism, British colonialism. You know, there's a lot that gets passed down into our families, and most of you have probably experienced some form of colonialism, patriarchal, you know, like certain ways of thinking, being how marriage should be, how a woman should show up, the man is this, the woman is that. A lot of it is distorted. The capitalism ways of, like, you know, everything is money, everything's a transaction, everything is bricks and mortar, it's physical things, 3D. All of that is the complete opposite of what the dark feminine is about. But it's taught us that dark feminine is synonymous with bad or negative as well. Those are the worlds that kind of if you are in your dark feminine, you're kind of like rebelling against all of those structures. You know, like, oh, I want a divorce. Like that could be seen as the dark feminine coming out in the feminine rising, going, actually, I can't do this no more. This is a karmic relationship. I need to get out. You know, I'm sure she's worked on it, but everyone would judge her, and they would judge that behavior. And that is the behavior that they probably see as the bad, the negative, but actually relates to the moves and the decisions of the dark feminine. The cultural narrative of dark being negative, like I said. And, you know, humanity's accepted this. You know, over the years, humanity sort of said, well, you know, men believe she's evil and the women are told to reject her. Like, that liberated feminine. Like, a woman like me doing what I've done in the last few years, even just like, I know that my dad struggled to understand. He wanted me to be successful. Of course he did. But, you know, it got too much for him when he realized that I'm such a successful woman. I can be in a boardroom with all white male men, and hold my own and speak my truth and be very intelligent and call decisions and, you know, like, stand in my power. That, I mean, I'm breaking serious cultural paradigms, dynamics, you know, and I know that part of my purpose was my soul called to be in London, my soul called to be in a corporate role at work in my day-to-day, because there's cycles, there's things that I'm here to break, from this color of my skin, from who I am, from my culture, from my voice, from my intelligence, and to be in those rooms, but also to bring a healing energy, to bring light, to bring authenticity, to help others, to bring in opportunities for others, which I have been doing and I'm very grateful for. But, you know, that essence of that can be, you know, quite challenging. And for many, many eons, let's say, the dark feminine has been seen as, you know, been put in boxes, you know, and labelled as, you know, unrestricted sexual expression, like she's only supposed, if she's showing herself like that, you know, that's dark feminine, put it in a box. Violence, chaos, discomfort, taboos, anything that's quite, you know, the unknown, the occult, the esoteric world, you know, understanding energy, connecting with the moon, you know, but that was part of our ancient knowledge. Before colonialism came, before, you know, Western cultures came and changed things, brought religion and everything. There was no religion back however long ago, and it was all very much ancient knowledge. It was a lifestyle, it wasn't religion. Just using the understanding of the universe, the sun, the moon, the planets, whether it was the Mayans, the Vedic, you know, astrology, astronomy, whatever. Those were the traditional ways, right? Ayurvedic understandings of how to navigate your life, what to eat, lifestyle, a way of life, also respect for oneself and for others, right? So it's deep, because it's everywhere, and it's almost like been just compartmentalized and just boxed off. But things are changing, and the dark feminine is needed, and this is why I'm here, and why I'm saying what I'm saying, because we all can overturn this and strongly connect. We're doing this together. You know, the old matriarchal civilizations that sort of said that women had to be a certain type of way are starting to really be questioned, pushed out, and, you know, rising feminines are able to show the dark feminine and who they are. And it's a rising in consciousness, and this consciousness is really bringing about our psychic abilities, our abilities to heal, our abilities to really connect with other feminines, with other, you know, the wild, fierce force of our dark feminine, connecting with other feminines and masculines that can embody this and bring this to life. So let's talk about 7 ways of how we can connect with that dark feminine energy and what you can do. So number 1, do your shadow work. And when I say shadow work, that can literally mean mirror work, shadow work, going within. Really go in and understand what it is, you know, what it is in your sort of deepest, darkest shadows. Like, is it that, you know, when you look at friends or others in your family, you get jealous and you just can't help it, but it's like, oh, you have these jealousies. And I'm just giving an example, right? It's like, well, go within and ask yourself, why do I feel that way? You know, or is it like You get really insecure when you're with a man and you don't want to show your body, and you don't want to be completely naked, or you just find yourself your own personal expression to be compromised because you don't feel like you can do it, like whatever it is, or do you have really bad feelings and thoughts about yourself, about others? Is there a reoccurring dream you have? This is the shadow work is a journey of befriending your shadow. Your shadow is never going to go away, by the way. It's always going to be there. We always have moments where you might be a bit judgy and stuff, but if you can see that might be your shadow emerging, because we're all made of light and dark, right? And the shadow is always part of us. Like I say, our ego is also part of us, so we have to learn to live with it. And understanding your shadow and being able to visit your shadow in ways of understanding what animates that force. What is it that brings it out? What do you do to suppress your shadow? What do you do to liberate your shadow, connect with it? Doing that work within journaling, asking yourself, meditating, taking time alone. You're never going to be able to do any of this if you're always around people. I don't understand when people say, yeah, I'm on this healing journey, but 90% of their time, or 95% of their time, they're never on their own. How are you healing? I don't understand. How are you healing? How are you growing? How are you expanding? How are you rising in your own consciousness? Because most of that requires a lot of alone time, a lot of discipline as well. So, for all of you guys that have kids and have families and have like busy lifestyles, I get it. I'm not here to judge. But are you making that time to really, and then when you do get the free time, are you like, oh, I just have 1 hour alone, and then you're like busying up your diary. I'm going to meet this friend. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, you're still running from yourself. Like, you're still running from your shadow that wants time and attention with you. And sometimes, when we're in our shadow, it'll make us cry. It might make us feel angry. It might make us feel frustrated, want to punch a wall, whatever it is. Fear, it might make us feel insecure. But, like, exploring it is the only way you're going to know what's in your shadow, right? I better wrap up soon, right? Because it's getting dark. And I'm already quite dark in this video. Gosh, by the time I get through more videos, I don't know if you guys are going to see me. So, putting your hands in the soil. Dark feminine energy lives deep in the rich black soil of our earth. Really connecting with that, the alchemy, the mysterious, really connecting with the earth. But as we connect with the earth, how you see a tree and it goes through its cycle, just from no leaves, from the autumn it loses everything, and then it comes back in spring. We have that regenerative, rebirthing, death and transformation, just like the seasons. So what is it that you need to process through yourself, connecting with the earth, connecting, literally you can do some of this work by, I'm getting bitten left, right and centre out here. Oh, goodness. You can do this work, in nature. But if you can't get to nature, you could do this work, with a journal, connecting. But it's really good to spend time in nature. It's really good to, just like almost embody yourself as part of the earth, as part of nature, and understand what parts you need to shed, what parts. It's because the trees, sometimes they need to expand. So as they expand through that process, they're releasing, and then they create the expansion for more branches to come. But they might not be able to and they might not be able to spread further if they are holding on to stuff. So they're a great example. Like, I love the example of trees. Okay, the third one's making peace with 1,000 little deaths and be in the unknowing. There's a lot that humanity is being asked to let go of right now, collectively and personally. Like, the paradigm shifts are real. Like what I said to you before, like, there's massive changes. There's timelines being jumped. What are timelines? They're really basically what comes from your thought process. So if you're still feeding into old things and feeding your mental sort of stimulation, energetic focus on old things that happened, you're feeding into an old timeline. You're still living on an old timeline. If you're being present and focusing on now and letting go of the past and just creating the new narrative, you're really in your highest timeline, basically. And you can jump timelines, because the more you do that and the more you release, and you're allowing yourself to surrender, be unattached to any outcome in whatever's happening in your life, you are jumping timelines. So these paradigm shifts are going to happen much more faster for those that are doing this, and it's amazing. Like, I'll give you the example like of my trip to where I am now. I literally had an air steward called Angel, and then I aligned with some amazing souls, and it was just very enchanted, is what one of my friends said. And but the fact that my air steward was called Angel, there was more other alignments, but I just felt like, wow, like I am on my highest timeline. I'm on the right frequency of what I'm meant to experience right now, and yeah, I'm here for it, right? So, let the parts of the old paradigm die. So are there things that you believe in from society? Are there things that, that you, I'm going to say this. Some people took this vaccine, right? Some people took it. I'm not judging you, right? Some people didn't. Everyone knows who I am in that. If you're watching this video, you can kind of assume, right? But those that did, and maybe you've changed your mind and you've realized, wait a minute, most of this is just BS, right? And actually this is not making any sense. You might want to change your thought process. You might be like, actually, I don't no longer agree with it. Back then I did it, I wasn't aware. Now I'm like aware. I'm like, no, I'm changing my mind. You can let go of that, and you can say, do you know what? I choose to think differently. I'm choosing to see things differently. And that's how you're letting go of old timelines, old paradigms. I'm choosing to make a change, right? So being able to know that ending of something and then allowing the beginning to come through, this is a really great way to allow that making peace with 1,000 little deaths. Like, what is it? There's so many small little things. You might have certain behaviors, you might have certain routines, and a lot of it comes from habits, by the way. So you could look at your habits. Like I was saying to some female friends, be careful about what words you use. Like using the swear words and talking about women as like BITCHs and THOTs and HOEs and all of that. That's not empowering. So the more you give to that energetically, you're still feeding into like distorted feminines and the societal kind of, that those names came about, by the way, because of certain behaviors. Yes, some of those behaviors aren't good, right? But some of them are dark feminine energies. But then they all get branded into one and put into boxes and whatever it is. So that could get quite complicated. The fourth one is rest. And I've said like, if you want to connect with your dark feminine energy, you need to be quite still. You need to be very, very alone. Right now, I am very much in this dark feminine moment in my life. And it's a beautiful moment. But it's taken me a while to get to... It's not that taking me a while to get here. I mean, I think I've been channeling my dark feminine, but to consciously say, you know what, I'm taking trips, and those trips are moments where I'm going to go in and really connect deeply more with my dark feminine, go into like the mysterious sides of me, not be afraid that when I am on this journey that anything could come up, and I'm ready for it, and that me sort of calling, I was talking to the ocean today, and I was like, I'm here for it, like calling in the elements, calling in my archangelic realm, calling in my spirit guides and my ancestors, and saying like, show me what you need to show me. I ask you to show me whatever I need to see right now, whatever that is, for me to help you guys give a message, or for myself. I know that when I'm giving you guys messages, it's messages I give myself as well. So it's for all of us, right, to share. And I'm just a facilitator. I'm just here, just passing on my light, my message, my truth, as I go through my own soul's journey, right? Number 6 is explore the mysteries, the blood mysteries. What's that? And I was like, Steph, this is for females and women specifically, this is your moon cycle, your lunar cycle, your menstrual cycle. What is it? Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid. We're taught that monthly like blood moon is like a waste product, it's dirt, it's disgusting, but your blood has actually a really regenerative, healing and protective quality. So many ancient cultures practice blood rites. Many indigenous people still do, you know, and from simply saving moon blood and using it as a healing elixir on wounds, like, don't know if I'd want to do that, but, you know, maybe you might want to do a ritual or a cleanse around your, you know, your cycle for your yoni. So I'm not saying, you know, take the blood and you can smear it places. If you want to do that, do it. But you can also meditate, you can release, you can spend time doing, you know, connecting with your yoni, your sort of your sacral chakra and around that area at those times. And shout out to my soul sister Joanna, who has, you know, I've been vegan now, it's going to be 2 years, and I was vegetarian before, and then I was pescatarian before, and I've been through the journey. But she did tell me, she said, you don't feel any pain when you're plant-based. And I tell you what, I don't. It's so freeing. I mean, sometimes I'll get emotional still, but I'm Cancer rising, Scorpio sun, like, yeah, I'm gonna feel it. I'm a moon child, do you know what I mean? And I like to connect with my emotions. It's emotional intelligence. But I tell you how free it is to be plant-based, and you just don't feel anything. Don't feel much. You know, you feel a flow, but you don't feel deep pain. But that also comes with healing too. So it's not just go be plant-based and you won't feel the pain, because I used to have quite painful, you know, menstrual cycles. But from doing the spiritual work, the healing, the subconscious, the energetic, the cellular level healing into my DNA and the connection with my ancestors, and then doing the physical body healing through what I eat, because food is medicine. Fasting in itself is medicine. It's food for me, because I feel like you don't have to put something in for it to be food. You could be just like, I'm consuming as I'm here. That's my consumption. Is a zero consumption. That's still consumption. That's still a choice. And that is very healing too. Okay, number 6 is explore esoterica. And my dark feminine came out really in the esoteric world last year, when I decided to actually pull tarot cards. Me being a traditional Catholic and growing up with very strict Catholicism and, you know, following pilgrimages and everything, I was told that stuff weren't cool. Even like, you know, the zodiac and all of that. And now I've since understood, and we've all got this in us, so the dark feminine can really tap into those psychic abilities. Really, you know, those tarot cards are only reading what's in your subconscious brain. They're just a facilitation. They're just a tool. You know, I know others that say, actually, I don't even need the tarot cards anymore. I can just sit there and I can really feel what is coming to me. They might use other means, like just to help them. They might work with the earth, work with the elements, right? Be in the water, talk to the sea and feel what's coming to them. They might just do it in a meditation, work with the Akashic. So there's so many ways, but if you really want to connect with your dark feminine energy, explore the esoterica. Maybe start to do some meditation. Maybe look at, you know, maybe you could get some tarot cards or some other, you know, you could get a pendulum. You could ask questions. You can do lots of different things that can allow you to connect with your spiritual psychic abilities. And the last one is carving out time at the dark moon, so you can really you can map the lunar cycle. And I forgot to say on the last one is connecting with the moon, and the moon cycle is a really powerful way to, you know, understand your feelings, your emotions, because the moon is very much about intuition, feelings, emotions, what is not seen. But working with that lunar cycle to really understand, okay, where can I, you know, call in the release or let go or channel my intentions. But the dark moon is the moon phase. It's 2 to 3 days before the new moon, okay? And it's when the, you know, the lunar is invisible in the sky, so you can't see the moon. So that's how you'll know it's a dark moon. And actually, even the new moon can also be considered a bit like the dark moon in a way, because you can't really see the new moon until like the second day. And some like to, you know, work with the new moon, calling in the manifestation sort of like the second day of the new moon. But ancient cultures revered the moon as, you know, as manifestation of the goddess. And as you guys know, I'm very much into that. I do a lot of like working with the moon cycles. I've seen so much powerful like shifts, outcomes, others, and I do those videos because I really feel that's a great way for us to start a new cycle, for us to connect with nature, with the moon, talk to the moon, use it to really call in what it is within us. And this is where, you know, this, you can do the shadow work, you can journal, divination, all of this great stuff, and you can do it with the moon. You could actually talk to the moon and ask the moon and meditate in front of the moonlight as well. So that dark moon essence is also really a powerful way to create in a sort of, in a dark moment where you can't see anything, but you know in your soul that there is a resonance that can call about a power within you to work with the universe and all that is connected to you to really manifest and create alchemy. And it's, you know, the most powerful form of alchemy is in the unknown, is in the letting go, is in the surrender, is in the unforbidden, mysterious, can't see it, can't touch it, can't feel it, can't label it. That is where the power of alchemy exists. Okay, so with that being said, I hope that this episode has helped you understand the dark feminine, and, you know, try out some of these tips I've given you. I'll have other videos where, you know, you can see where I'm doing moon guidance, moon manifestation. If you're interested in the event and you're based in London or near London, check it out. The information is going to be going up, and there'll be limited spaces though. So, and it's only in person for a limited amount of people. But hopefully you will catch some information on the moon, whether it's on YouTube or on in person, whatever it is. And also, I just want to say, I'm really grateful for you guys. I'm really grateful to be here. I'm really thankful, as much as I'm being bitten right now because it's getting sun setting, and as you can tell, and they're munching on my skin. I am really grateful, and I'm really thankful to be here, to be sharing these messages. So with that being said, I'm sending you love, light, peace and abundance.